Okay. Good afternoon. This is July 10th, 2013. My name is Patty Williamson. I'm conducting an oral history interview at the Prairie Convention Center, Springfield, Illinois, with Aubrey Storm. Okay. I live at 405 East Bell Avenue, Rantoul, Illinois, 61866.
That's bad enough.
Hey, you remember Chanute, don't you? I need you to state your name and address for the record.
Aubrey G. Storm, Rural Route 1, Box 176, Neoga, Illinois, 62447 if you need that.
And, yeah, we're all coming down to being just numbers, aren't we? Okay. So what branch of the service were you in?
Well, I was in the U.S. Army Air Corps, and I was in when it was changed over to U.S. Air Force.
Oh, yeah, so was my dad. And then did you see any, action, or where were you stationed? Or?
Well, when I went in, Japan had already surrendered, and I went in because they called me up for draft, and I turned down the list in the Air Force. I wanted the U.S. Army Air Corps. I didn't want to be a ground pounder.
Oh, no, yeah. So where did you go to the basic?
Lackland.
Oh, so did my dad.
And then I come back to Rantoul, and they were too many of us waiting for school, so they shipped 300 of us to Boca Raton, Florida.
Oh, so you got a Florida vacation out of it?
Well, everybody's down there. And then I come back to Rantoul for school later, and was down there. I went through 2 hurricanes while I was down there.
Oh, my gosh.
And then they closed the base, and I come back to, signed up for school and welding school at Rantoul. And then I was TDY at that base. Mm-hmm. Well, I ended up TDY in Denver, Colorado, Laurie Air Force Base.
Mm-hmm.
And,
much nicer than Rantoul.
well...
I'm sorry, what did you say? Much nicer than Rantoul.
No. Well, yes, it was, because...
well, a little further than home for you, though, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't bad.
Wasn't bad?
No.
So you're a welder.
Yeah, and then I got to picking up wrecked airplanes. And when I was in Florida, I was made buck sergeant down there in about a year.
That's pretty quick.
And approximately, I was buck sergeant when I come up to Chanute Field.
I know what you meant. Uh-huh.
Chanute Field, and then went to, was picking up wrecked airplanes plus doing welding, but they needed some people like that. I picked up 2 or 3 wrecked helicopters and a couple other airplanes, and that was my job. We would go through and take the good parts out of them and send them in to get them checked, see if they could be used on the old C-47s or stuff like that. And then I left there and went to Wichita Falls to A&E school.
A&E is?
Aircraft and Engines.
Okay.
And left there and went to Shreveport, Louisiana, Barksdale. And then left there in about 6 months. All I was doing was hanging engines, taking them off and hanging them, and picking up, if we needed us, and that was my job. I never did really do A&E job. Left there once I went Tampa, Florida.
Okay.
McDill Air Force Base.
Which Air Force Base?
McDill.
Thank you.
And left there and went 6 months over to Okinawa with the B-29s.
Oh.
We were bombing North Korea with the B-29.
Mm-hmm.
Went through 3 typhoons.
What's with you in the water storms, I'm telling you?
But that was 6 months TDY over there.
Oh, yeah.
SAC wanted us to be enough, get a certain experience of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I come back and went back to McDill, and then that's when I got out. And I could have went to England, but they wanted to re-enlist me over there, and I wasn't going to. I had a family,
Oh, yeah.
and it wasn't anything to be called up middle of the night and see how quick we could get out there.
Oh, okay.
The fact, I mean, you never knew when, if they told you to bring your bag, you better.
So you were with SAC and not TAC?
Yeah, SAC.
Okay.
Strategic Air Command.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you remember your first drill instructor?
No.
Really? Everyone seems to remember the
No.
first one. My dad goes on about how long it took and how often the plane had to refuel to get from the Corn Belt here down to Texas, where now people don't think about. It's just you fly.
Yeah.
He said they stopped like 2 or 3 times. Did you guys have to stop and refuel?
When I went over to Okinawa, I flew back. We left California to Hawaii, and then hit it 2 or 3 different missions, prop jobs. These weren't jets. And come back the same way. And I landed in Hawaii, but I didn't get to see much of Hawaii, about 34, 35 hours.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, we landed and then...
But still, I used to gripe when it was a 24-hour trip to get out of there. Do you keep in touch with anybody you served with, or?
Well, I got one boy, but he was heading down at McDill. Him and his wife got acquainted with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I see him when I go to Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Out to my daughter's. Well, this is where she's coming from.
Oh, my. Quite the looker there.
We had 2 daughters when that was taken.
Wow.
And we
Very
had
nice.
4 kids.
You had 4, so you had 2 and 2? Match that?
No,
No.
3 girls and a boy.
Oh, you were outnumbered.
And the only one was born in, me and my son both born in Illinois, and the rest of them, wife was in Omaha, Nebraska, the oldest daughter in Denver, Colorado, the next girl down at Wichita Falls, Texas, and then another one at McDill.
Okay. Now, did any of them join the service, or?
My son did. He was joined, and he's classified as a Vietnam, but he worked coastal radar and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he was NORAD or like that.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get out of the state, though.
Do you remember what Chanute was like when you got there? Was it still growing and
Yeah, it was.
active?
Yeah.
Active. The flight lines were active at the
Yeah.
time. And,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you said you learned to be a welder there?
Yeah, and then went to A&E school. set me there.
So you didn't have to go to Whitehall or any of that. You went to the hangars there.
No, this is in Wichita Falls, Texas.
And you didn't see any like casualties with the Okinawa thing?
No.
And the 3 typhoons?
No.
No.
Well, I laugh about the flight engineer. He come back and had a little scratch. He went down to the hospital and come back, and he said, well, I'll run the engine and I'll tell you guys what we need to do. Correct him, and he come back and he slipped down in the seat, felt something sharp. And he had a seat chute plus a cushion. Then there was a piece of black in the seat. Seat cushion, that was just something to laugh about. And then he said, boy, the seat chute and then the cushion helped protect him.
Oh, thank goodness.
And we just, and actually my nickname's Typhoon because and a colonel knew me as Sergeant Typhoon because when I need to get parts and stuff, this guy at Master Sergeant said they started naming me Typhoon. And so I figured he come walking through MacDill Air Force Base inspecting with SAC. And I was back welding, working there. And I come down off a piece of equipment, and he come through there, and in the shop he was inspecting for the Strategic Air Command. He walked up to me and he said, "Oh, there, Sergeant Typhoon," and I started to salute him, and he stuck out his hand, and we stood there and talked. He had some other people walking, and he said, maybe I better get on, and I started to salute him again, and I figured that's official nickname.
I think that makes it official, all right.
With a general caution, he was a full colonel when I first knew him.
Now, was it a big surprise when you got down to Texas after being in Illinois, living in Illinois, and no, the weather wasn't different, the food wasn't different, going from mom's home cooking down to the mess hall? No. Did you have plenty of supplies, like food and things to work with? And apparently you had plenty to work on.
And, well, the funniest part of it was that I got married on a Thursday to my wife, and Monday I went north to pick up a wrecked airplane. It blew up. It took us 3 days to find the guy, 3 guys.
Oh, my.
And we picked up, and the biggest piece we got was landing gear. The rest of it was maybe that big and about the size of your thumb. And we still find pieces of the guys.
So you found actual pieces of the bodies as well as the airplane?
Yeah.
And you had to pick it, you had to make sure it all got picked up?
Yeah. And then they government paid so much anyway, but we do the picking up, and we had a scoop, picked it up and walked back and forth, buckwheat. Walked back and forth through that, and picking up the pieces and piling them, and then we made a sled, and they winched it in, we put the stuff in it.
Oh, that buckwheat is itchy and scratchy.
Yeah, but it was only about so tall when that happened.
Uh-huh.
And I enjoyed every bit of what I done.
Oh, good. Did you learn? I mean, did you later on take your trade you had in the service and
Well,
go
I
into
did.
civilian?
Yeah, but I started farming and few winters I worked at blow knocks and welded,
Okay,
and I passed a welding test,
good deal.
and so I learned, and I'd done heliarc and stuff like that in the service, all of that.
Do you remember anything about, like, what you did for entertainment or tease one another, or
Well, I guess,
you guess? Do you remember?
well, we, in Boca Raton, we just go to the beach and stuff like that, and
Just
we were just north of Fort Lauderdale, between Miami and Palm Beach.
that had to be a really tough assignment for you there. 2 hurricanes or not, I'm telling you. Looking at all those girls in bathing suits,
Yeah,
being a young guy.
but, and we didn't have a lot of fun, and I'd go to the NCO club because I was buck sergeant, and I could go there and dances and stuff, and go to the service club, and if I got there early enough, get donuts on Sunday.
How'd you meet your wife?
I met her on a blind date.
Really?
Her cousin was going with a guy in the base there at Laura Field, and she checked me out. They took him to where she was working, and then they met him at the Walgreens there by the Capitol, and that's where I met her.
And lived happily ever after.
Well, 59 years.
That's a
She's
long
been
time.
down 5 now, a little over 5.
Do you remember anything did you ever get in trouble when you were in the service?
No.
No? And my dad, he doesn't tell everybody, he got in big trouble over night school.
No, I never got in any trouble.
Yeah, he didn't vent a can of beans and he was cooking it over the fire.
No.
It vented itself all over his commanding officer, who did not appreciate the bath.
Oh, okay.
So, you remember any, like, things you said you worked on B-59?
No,
No.
B-29.
B-29. What were they used for again?
Bombing.
Bombing Korea.
Yeah.
That wasn't the Looking Glass one?
No, that's
No?
the one that dropped in World War II, was bombing Japan with it.
Okay. Okay.
And
I'm
I
horrible
worked
with names and numbers. Sorry.
C-47s. I'd go from Colorado to Scott Field. With C-47, that's a cargo plane, old Goody birds. And outside of that, and I really don't like sunrise services because they're all in churches now. But I went to Red Rock Amphitheater, the wife and I did,
Oh, beautiful.
and Easter sunrise services. And it was 20 degrees when we got there, and I still swear it warmed up just as soon as the music started.
Wonderful.
And that was before we were married. We went up there.
Very nice. Were all your kids born on base?
The 3,
3.
well, Linda wasn't, but the other 2 were.
And did they let you stay for the birth at the time, or?
No.
No, you dropped off the wife and they called and told you what went on, or?
Yeah, come out, I was sitting there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 'cause my dad dropped my mom off and left and said, we'll call you when things happen. Called and told them what they had.
No, they didn't call me. I was right there because I had to get the doctor to, or get her to come in because she was about ready to have it because she didn't last it about 30 minutes and bang.
And there that baby was, huh?
Yeah,
Mm. So what rank did you finally retire at?
staff sergeant.
Oh, wait a minute. You started off as a buck sergeant there within a year.
Yeah, but I got my staff sergeant when I was in SAC.
Oh, okay. They got top heavy in your career field, and they
No,
weren't.
no. No, just the way it worked.
Well, okay.
Because I was in school and doing.
Okay. Okay. And you said you picked up planes and helicopters. Do you pick them up from all over the country, or?
No, right around that area. They crashed, the helicopter had crashed, and this one plane, and then we had a C-47 we picked up off the runway. He made a perfect landing, and see their wheels knocked the props off, but he come rolling down the runway.
Okay.
And then Marchdale, I'd go out, and if we had a plane, we had wreckers to get them off if they didn't get off the runway, get them off quick as we could. And
And you have to clean the runways up, or just
no,
the
just
plane?
get the plane off.
That was someone else clean the runway up?
Yeah, and wasn't much left. I mean, but we just go out in case they get a plane that's having trouble, and usually they landed okay, but it didn't have to pick them up. But we were out there with the fire department.
Oh, okay. You're in one of those trucks.
Yeah, record.
Mhm.
And I have a lot of engines and worked long hours.
You say you were on call all the time?
Well, when I was there at Barksdale, I was. I spent one evening hanging 4 engines. They were on a B-29. They were wanting it over there, and I think it sat there for 2 months or so. And it was 2 o'clock when I got home, turned around and come back in the next morning and worked.
Some crazy hours.
Yeah, and I'm just on call and whenever they needed me.
Mhm.
That's the way it was.
Did you make any, like, special friends in boot camp, or do you remember anything about boot camp at all? No?
I had 2 or 3 there. When we left, we went to Florida from Rantoul or Chinook Field. We run around together a little bit, but not really friends.
I don't think I understand how the draft works. You actually got called up that you got to pick your field and career?
No.
No?
They called me up and sent me home, and because World War II was over with.
Oh, okay.
And they, instead of me waiting for them to call me up, I turned around and enlisted.
Oh, okay. So that's how you got to choose everything.
Yeah.
So you were drafted and sent home, and then you signed up.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just...
Was there anything that you used to do for good luck, or?
No, not really.
No? Do you remember, you said you were in Texas when you retired?
No. Florida's when they discharged me in Florida.
So your career kind of started and ended in Florida, huh?
No. It's all over.
Didn't I hear something about Boca Raton and...
Well, that was the first time.
Okay, well, so do you remember you got out of the service? Did they give you a reason, or was it just time?
No.
You just didn't want to go over to England?
Yeah, but my time was
How many years you put in?
7.
7 years? Oh, so you didn't really retire out of the service?
No.
You just didn't re-enlist?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
3 years and then about 4 more.
Okay.
And my dad said, I got a draft notice when I was during the Korean War. He took it down to the draft board and told them, if they want me, you got to go get me, because I was already over there.
It sounds like he has you have his sense of humor.
And, well, I try to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not happy unless I'm tormenting people.
Good for you.
I had a gal in the Legion that might too. You don't need to write that down. But I said hello to her, and she said she was pretty good. And I said, no, you're not. You're good, but you're not pretty.
Oh, that's me, Aubrey. And you said you went on to work as a welder and a farmer. Now, was your dad a farmer ahead of you?
No, well, I did farm a little bit. Dad always had another job, plus I had to farm. And when I was in high school, I farmed and helped Dad.
My uncle says it's the most expensive hobby he's ever had.
Well, I always tell when my wife went to work, she was supporting my hobby.
Yeah, exactly. They just almost didn't pay for the seed to go in.
And I just retired from that.
So did you go on to work somewhere else?
No, I just worked as a welder, just sick. They needing help, and I just went in and took and then I'd be there maybe 4 months. Yeah. And then they'd be laying them off. But when I went in there, I told the guy, I said, I'm farming, and that's okay.
Probably worked out perfect for him.
Yeah.
Really?
And then one time they were laying guys off, and I'd already went in and told him I was leaving, and I went in there when I got before time to go to work, and I told him, I said, he said, well, you already told us, we don't. I said, well, those other guys, let them work a little longer. Nah. So.
Yeah. Pretty straightforward to me.
But I done all that.
Did, you see any big differences between the military that you served in and the military from today?
Well, a little bit more money.
That's what my dad said. Sign-on bonus. What's this about sign-on bonus?
Well, my son was, when he went in, he was making more than I was when I got out.
My dad, that sign-on bonus was more than my annual salary. Yeah, I'm like, what? So did you have, like, always live in base housing, or did you buy real estate, or
No, I
rented?
I had a trailer really moved in.
You raised a family out of a trailer that you moved around?
Yeah.
I can't.
It was 30-footer.
Okay, so for 7 years,
Or,
you lived in a trailer
4 years we lived in the trailer.
with the wife and three kids.
With
And
2
30
for a while, and then the third one.
I wanted to shake your wife's hand. My God. Oh my God. One little bathroom.
Yeah,
Okay, so where's the boy fit in the mix? Is it like,
he was born here in Illinois.
is he the youngest, oldest?
Yeah, he's the youngest.
See? So you had a wife, 3 daughters, and you in
Yeah.
a 30-foot trailer.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But the last one was only about 3 months in it.
Oh, thank goodness.
Well, yeah, she was born in March and we left in June.
Oh my goodness. Did you have to try, did they have animals that you had to try and,
No,
no cats, dogs?
no.
Thank goodness, huh? Where would you put them?
I didn't want them.
Did your family know you were coming home when you headed out, or your, like, mom and dad and...
Yeah, I was when I was going to Korea, I was coming through Illinois and then went to Colorado and dropped her off, and then I went on train to California where I was leaving from.
Who was in Colorado you dropped her off with? I
Her
thought she was from
parents.
Omaha.
No, her folks lived in Denver then, moved there during the Depression, and she was born in Omaha. Her folks, Dad was working in Omaha and got laid off. And
Did you ever go out to Omaha? The
yeah,
office?
no, I've been out to the museum. It's between Lincoln and Omaha now.
I used to live in Omaha.
No, I never got there. The museum, they moved it between, there's a park there between Lincoln and Aubrey.
I like to tell my parents. Does your, like, squadron or whatever have any reunions, or
I don't know, never heard they did.
never heard you did? Do you remember anything about, like, your experiences working or being in the military? Is it really, I know, did you have any extra jobs? Because my dad used to always gripe about being the base, I can't say what he used to call it, but it was like the sergeant major or whatever, that he had to go around to all the chow halls and make sure everything was just so, and if someone showed up at the ER, he had to fill out all the paperwork.
No,
You didn't get any of them extra jobs?
no.
You lucky duck. You lucky duck.
So I guess you'd call picking up wrecked airplane.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it sounds like, didn't they come down in, like, ginormous pieces, some of them? Didn't you have, like, big parts?
Well, we had a B-29 land on and crashed on the base. All the engines took off.
Oh, thank you.
Didn't give us a stop on the line.
And
Oh, wonderful.
we picked it up, but nobody got hurt though in that.
Oh, good. That's
The
good
only
news.
person who got hurt was the pilot, and that was when the fire department cut a hole and scratched him on the barrel. He was knocked out. But that's funny part. Funny things happen.
They do. That'd be fabulous. Did you get any ribbons besides the Air Force, Army, Air Corps ribbon? Did you get
I
it?
got McCrean and stuff.
Well, yeah. Did you get any service?
And I got a World War II medal
About that, yeah.
ribbon.
Mhm.
And because I was in,
Mhm.
and I got all my good conduct. I got one with the rope on it.
A rope even. Now that's more than the leaks, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
this is the second
Okay.
four hitch I ended up with.
Did you get any other medals?
No, not really. Just all my the Korean ones, and I got a battle star.
Oh.
I got a battle star in it.
Oh, well, yeah.
Because then I wasn't there. The place bombed, and we got battle star for.
You were there? Well, you were part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you should have got it.
I was sad to make sure the plane could get up there and back.
Mm-hmm.
But the only control you didn't have was on enemy fighters and anti-aircraft. You didn't have any control on that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In other words, you want to make sure the plane get up there and get back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, ma'am. You were only there for 6 months, so you
Yeah.
weren't there for the whole battle or that. Did anything ever happen on that base? Did you ever go out and try the local cuisine, or?
Well, we had Okinawan played at the NGO club dance,
Mm-hmm.
and some of the gals that worked in the PX and stuff come and dance with us. You
Oh,
take a
that's
6-foot guy out,
And they only come up to your belt buckle.
but I'm not that tall, so they got me taller.
Thank goodness, huh?
Yeah, and we had the only part I didn't like was the coffee at the PX. Them gals did not know how to make coffee.
You couldn't teach them how, or?
No, but I drank a lot of hot tea.
I'll bet they made some good hot tea.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but the coffee and the mess hall was good, and
Did you ever have to eat those MREs?
no,
Good. According to my dad, really good.
the only time we had sea rations was during the typhoon.
So you didn't have to try and get those pouches to heat up and
No,
all that good stuff?
and the only part I didn't like was white milk because it was powdered. You know, back then powdered milk. Now the chocolate was powdered, but it was the chocolate killed the powder.
Yeah.
Nowadays powdered milk is better than it was way back then.
Have you caught the price of that powdered milk?
Now, I know, but I mean, I don't use it, but what I meant is that
Mm-hmm.
it's different than it was.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that.
How'd you get back here to Illinois from Florida? Why didn't you just stay in Florida?
I drove back.
You drove back because this was home, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was your parents getting older? I mean, did you help your
Yeah.
dad on the farm when you got
Yeah.
back, or
Well,
was
I
he already
run it.
retired?
I run it. He didn't. He had another job.
I
I
forgot.
just took over,
Oh, okay.
and he had it rented to somebody else, and I took it over and started farming.
Okay. Very nice.
And he always had a second job, but he was good.
Mm-hmm. And you found out why. Became a welder.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't do that. I wouldn't have worked in a factory. I'd have stayed in the service. I had to come back and work in a factory.
Mm-hmm.
And
So you grew up east of Strasburg?
no,
No.
I moved from there when I was 7 to Shelbyville, and
Okay, so that's kind of a big town.
yeah, I was in first grade and went to school there all.
The whole career.
Yeah.
Why did you pick the Army Air Corps? You didn't want to be a ground pounder, but why not the Air Force again?
Well, I just liked airplanes.
Okay. I just wondered, because my dad did it purely on the position of where the offices where you had to go sign in. He didn't want to walk too far, so he went in the first one.
No,
No?
I just joined because I wanted to.
He joined because there was no job.
And I actually started flying when I was in high school. I got 300 hours in private planes.
Wow.
And then insurance, I come home and going to take out more insurance, and the premium, what I'd have to pay was a lot higher than what it would if I hadn't been flying, so I quit flying. But that's okay. I enjoyed it. That's why I went in the Air Force, because I like to fly. And I knew I wouldn't be a pilot or nothing, but I wanted to work on them and do things like that.
Now, do you take advantage of the hops, we call them? The plane hops from, like...
Oh, yeah.
Do you take those at all? Yeah.
A few times I come back to Illinois on a C-47, besides being a crew person. I come back and got my car, flew back in, and Dad's brother-in-law said, "You're going to have to, the car broke down being fixed." And I said, "Well, thank you. I'll just go back to the railroad station, go back to St. Louis and catch the plane back." They convinced me not to do that. Things like that. We just had a family that we enjoyed each other's body.
That's very nice.
And her family the same way.
Okay. Now, and her family was in Denver.
Yeah.
And she have a lot of siblings, or?
Just 2 sisters and a brother. But the brother is 6 months younger than our oldest daughter.
Oh, my. Well, was there anything that we haven't talked about that you want to talk about, or?
Not but
You belong to the American Legion Auxiliary, or not the Auxiliary. You belong to the American Legion. Do you belong to any other?
VFW.
Oh, you do belong to, yeah, because you were in Okinawa.
Yeah.
Any other AMVETs or disabled veterans or?
Call ourselves Patriots. We remember the POWs.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm one of them, and I got my life membership in the Legion and the VFW in that one. And I used to march in a lot of, I always carried American flags. I got my own. Yeah, I haven't walked the last 3 years, but I've walked in that Neoga has parade. I've done that 28 times, led that parade, walked it.
Now, have you noticed a change in the public, like more respect? They stand up, they take their hats off,
they don't
put their hand over their heart, anything?
No, I've had a few to do it, but a lot of them don't. And I do, I'm going to maybe stop we go to the first graders and talk on the American flag. Me and another guy.
I think it's important, because if you don't teach them respect, they aren't going to have it.
No.
You know, and I don't know that it's being taught anymore in school, and not by the parents.
But the teachers like us to get us there.
Oh, yeah.
First graders, and then I do a Catholic school and another school, but we do the whole school there at that place at Humboldt.
Good job.
And I believe in it, and thought that might be my calling.
Yeah, sounds like it.
And I belong to the 40 and 8 too, so.
Oh, uh-huh.
So
The what? What was that? 40 and 8. 40 and 8, okay.
and that's that's the way it goes.
Okay. You have any experiences that we haven't talked about, or getting back and forth to basic or bases, or
No,
no? Okay.
I just, even when it was first time in Florida, I come to the city of Miami.
Oh my. From Illinois to the city of Miami, you didn't see anything different?
No, but the train at the city of Miami is on the Illinois Central. It
Okay, I got you.
Run every third day.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And funny part of it was you don't need to write on it. But the guy in the diner, he'd see me back down the line, and he'd motion me to come up. He'd find me a table, and a lot of times sit down with somebody else.
Yeah. Back then you did that. Not
Yeah.
so much anymore.
No, but they,
Mm-hmm.
and
So your children married, and you have grandchildren? And,
yeah, and 12 great-grandchildren.
oh my gosh.
8 grandkids, and then
Wow. Good. They all live around here? And no?
Colorado and
So, okay.
Florida, one of them, and the rest of them live around here.
You are really attached to about 3 states in this whole country. You know that. Florida, Colorado, Illinois. Florida, Colorado, Illinois.
And I don't want to go to Florida and retire down there because I don't like it.
It's pretty warm. Pretty
No,
humid.
I mean,
No?
it was nice when I was down there.
Mm-hmm.
And it just started building up, and it's too much build up.
We were down in Orlando. Oh my gosh. You have like 8 lanes going each direction, and it's like, oh, you want that exit right back there. And then you have to drive like 20 miles to turn around, and oh, it's horrible. I don't know if we'll go back.
Well, I just fly down to Jacksonville, and that's where the daughter's at, and her husband.
If I were your kid, this is just me, I would demand that you haul a 30-foot trailer behind you and you park it. Make you live in it too.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I just enjoy myself. And
Good. Good deal. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do at this time. So, has Colorado bases changed a bunch?
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's gone. They've closed it down.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the one there in Denver.
Uh-huh.
And they got a museum there. I've been there. The barracks that I lived in before I got married was still there. It was a brick building.
Mm-hmm.
Mess halls off of it, but and the whole base is built up houses and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But the museum and the hangar I used to work in is still there. That museum, but they took the tower out of it. The tower moved, and because when I was there, the tower was in our hangar.
Did you work on prop engines or jet engines?
Mainly props.
Mainly props. We didn't have many jets back then.
The only one when I come back from overseas, we got the B-47.
Oh, uh-huh.
The first jet bomber headed at B-52. That's the only one. And that was stationed there at McDale. And wife used to complain they're leaving their tracks on the trailer, coming in and out. Things like that, just joking
Uh-huh.
and
Did you ever play any practical jokes on your commanding officer?
no,
Each other? No? Did you used to go out with the wife to the dances, or?
yeah, and the nightclubs where they got girls dancing, the old burlesque.
Oh, yeah, making comebacks.
And one gal, tassel dancer, she had up here and back here, and they got them
Really?
both on the back, rotating different clockwise. Yeah,
Front and back were all different?
they roll, well, clockwise and counterclockwise, even on the back.
Oh, my God. Don't you ever wonder how they do that? I can't even get stuck going one direction most of the time. Holy mackerel. Okay, well, do you have a time we started by chance?
I have, I believe it was
I don't
2:10.
care what, it didn't make any difference.
2:10 when we started.
What time is it, Aubrey?
I got a little after 3.
Okay.
3:02.
Okay, then if you're done, we're done. We
Well,
have
I
enough.
Don't know of anything else.
Well, anything you care to share, we're here to listen.
I know, but I got my daughter in Florida. I started when I was born and spoke kind of a history.
You do genealogy. Oh, wonderful. I can't get my folks, my dad, the stories I just told you, I can't get them to write them down. I can't get them to sit down with anyone. They'll be lost. The ones about my grandfather was into genealogy a little bit, so we do have some family stories, like my great-great-great-grandfather was down at he was a Civil War, prisoner of war down at the, what was the big one in Georgia?
Atlanta is the only one I...
Began with an A, the prisoner of war in the Civil War.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyway, some of that stuff, if you guys don't write it down, we're not going to know it.
I know.
Good job, Ben.
I'm trying to...
Very good job. My, but he don't want anyone to know he decorated his commanding officer with steak beans. Yeah. And of course, the first question out of his mouth was, whose beans? And my dad's like, I don't know. That can disappeared. But you know what Iceland is like. They, cook on a rock almost at that time.
Well, the only thing I think of is down there in Louisiana at Marksdale, they used to fur-lined boots, pants, and a jacket, and a hat, and gloves. And,
For what?
well, it was cold, they thought.
Good God, send them north. We'll show them cold.
Yeah, but the trouble with it is, when I was in Colorado, it's cold out there. Just a regular field jacket, maybe a sweatshirt underneath it, winter. And they ship all the, government ships all the winter stuff south.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like the government.
Well, the only guy that had a leather jacket was crew chief, and it was fur line, you know, but it wasn't like those down there.
Right.
We just crawled in the airplane and sat there for 3 days.
Did you have to get permission from your commanding officer to get married at the time, or?
Well, I guess I did, but I didn't.
My dad said his commanding officer always told him if he needed a wife, it would have been issued to him by the government. So he got married before he ever went in, so he'd never have to ask him.
No, I just got married. And
Did you guys go on a honeymoon?
no,
That 10 minutes in the courthouse, was it, or?
no, we got married in a parsonage, and we had to go to the mortuary to get the preacher.
Okay, he was a little busy that day. Well,
And things like that.
well,
And I got acquainted with a guy that was in World War I and World War II, and he was in Korea.
wow.
And he actually, they didn't have any kids, and they actually kind of claimed ours. And plus that, him and his wife had to get remarried because he was married her in World War I, and when he was in World War II, he had to remarry to get they wouldn't recognize that when you get allotment get her allotment.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's strange. I thought once you got it, you got it.
No, that World War I, he was just a buck sergeant, and I guess they weren't supposed to get married. But he got married.
Remember, if you were supposed to be married, the government would have issued you a wife.
And then I helped put him on a plane to go to England.
What was over in England? What were we doing there?
But Strategic Air Command, they send 90 days over and come back.
Oh, okay. Did you have to write any of the tests or that for the...
No, I never
No.
did go over, but a lot
Oh,
of
that
them,
was TAC. Sorry.
in fact, they be gone 90 days, and we'd have supplies. And he'd, what funny part about it, he spent most of his time in the Pacific, and his ancestors from England. And he'd got hurt on a motor scooter, and they told him he couldn't go. He didn't stop. The squadron commander said he wasn't going to get to go. He went clear as top because he had 20-some years service. And he went up. He didn't listen to them. He went up, and I carried his bag to where the plane was, and he was on crutches.
No.
And he got on board. He went to England. He said, "I'm going to England."
Good for him.
But 25 years service,
Mm-hmm.
and he was. You're right.
Yeah, that's your job.
But he was quite a guy, and he come over when the youngest daughter was born and sat right there and watched. She was only about 4 or 5 days old, and they never had any kids.
So he come over and babysat for you, or
No,
watch
no,
the other
him
kids?
and his wife, they come over and visit. That's when they were McDill.
Okay. Is he the one that you keep in touch with, or is
No,
it?
he's gone, passed
He's gone.
away, and
It's the younger guy.
yeah,
Okay.
but he's in Colorado.
Of course he is.
And the funniest part of it, I call him up, and Is this the wrong side up? There's David side bottom.
Oh, Jesus.
There's what?
Is this the wrong side up because his name is Side Bottom?
Oh. That's funny.
Okay, well, then she'll get this typed up, and you give them a transcript or just?
No, stop or keep.
Yes, you go ahead and stop. We're done.
Yeah, if you want a copy of this transcript, I will send you one.
Okay. But
Okay.
you got stuff in there like...
But this is stuff your kids are going to want to know. You're going to have to leave it to one of your daughters. They're going to want to know.
There's nothing
Well,
bad in there.
There's nothing bad in there.
Yeah,
And now they know how you met your mother, and they know where you guys
well,
got
they do
married.
that.
Well,
And the funny part of it was, we blind date went to a professional wrestling match in Denver. That was her date.
Sure you don't want that on here?
Uh-huh.
Kids are going to like that.
And
They're going to
I always,
part with the tassels going each and
and I
every
told
direction.
them, always tormented, we fight never, we're fighting never since. We got along fine. And she did learn how to cook. She don't never learned to fry anything. She always broiled it or cooked it that way.
Well, that's why you're so slim and trim. That's why you still look so healthy.
And he is so healthy.
Yeah.
But she done that, and she never, all 4 kids, she was still the same size. Get back.
She never saw that picture.
I didn't see that picture. I want to see that.
You should. This is after 2 children.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I call that my pin-up picture.
Wow, she's pretty. Very pretty.
Very nice.
Well, Mr. Storm, it was an honor. Thank you very much.
I don't know whether...
It was for me. I wanted to do this for a long time, and I'm happy I got to do it for you, or with you. And I'll send you a copy.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Let me see. Do you want me to see if Jill has anybody else to set up down here? And then I can come back and say,